Real talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Humans Talking podcast. I am FRENO, joined by Brylon. What's up, man? How's your week been?
Not much. Hope everyone had a happy holiday. New Year's is coming up. Hope you have a good one of those too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure you get those New Year's resolutions written down so you can look at them later and be disappointed.
And be disappointed, like, oh man, why didn't I do any of these?
Yeah, I actually did pretty good this previous year.
Oh yeah?
I think I wrote down like 8, and I did all of them but 3. And one of them was like get a scuba diving license and get out of debt, which is not. It's gonna take a little bit longer than I thought.
Yeah, getting out of debt—that's like the lifelong goal of all of us in the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, interesting to hear. I've never really been one for New Year's resolutions. I've never written stuff down. I just keep going year by year, and then I just adjust accordingly. But I know it's tradition that people like to kind of, make a list of things they want to do for the next year and whatnot, or goals and aspirations and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah. It's always good to have written down like long-term goals, especially if it's like a year. And honestly, I wrote them down as things I wanted to do for the year, and then I totally forgot about it, and I didn't even see the list again. Never even looked at it until like 2 weeks ago, just because I was looking through notes on my phone and found it, and I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot to do this." But then I, looked through and was like, "Oh, I did most of them anyway. That's great."
You're like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's good.
It's dope. I know we didn't record a podcast last weekend. Of course, obviously, it's Christmas. Everybody was out doing stuff. Did you you have a good Christmas? Spend time with the family?
I did. I went over to my mom's, and then spent some time with my girlfriend's family as well.
Nice.
It was really nice. Yeah. Lots of driving back and forth.
Oh yeah.
That really sucked.
Oh yeah.
I really miss. I don't know. I'm of two minds. It's always nice to have Christmas at holidays at your own house, but I don't know. Driving around, I mean, it's really the only time you really get a chance to hang out with family. So
yeah.
Either way,
since we all live so far apart, it's always that hassle of going through traffic and whatnot, trying to see each other.
Yeah, it was definitely a busy couple of days, but I'm kind of glad to get this year over with and get into the next and keep going. So, what about you? How was your holiday?
Pretty straightforward. Didn't do too much. We, of course, drove and saw family. The boys, actually, my mother, their grandmother, got them a big Batmobile Jeep thing that they can ride in. So it's
Nice.
it's like a 2-seater. I had to put that together and charge the battery for 14 hours, I think, and let them drive up and down the street. And I think we went to an empty parking lot at one point, had them drive around in circles.
That's awesome. Did
Did
you
you-
get anything fancy for your birthday? for Christmas?
I got some workout clothes, like
Nice.
this tight, stretchy fabric. I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty cool. I've been wearing that for the past few days.
Nice.
My legs are completely sore right now.
Oh, going to the gym and everything.
Yeah, leg day really wiped me out.
Yeah, I've taken a break from kickboxing this month, so I am looking forward to going back on this coming week, but we'll see how it goes.
So for your kickboxing class, do you take it for the fitness, or do you want to learn how to defend yourself if someone attacks, or is it just like a hobby you were pursuing?
Just a little bit of both. I'm not I mean, I got my ass kicked last time I was doing it, a couple of times back, a couple months back. So I don't know if I'm a fighter. I'm not gonna go in and start. But it's just fun. It's a nice way to get some good cardio and exercise in, but then also punching and kicking something.
Yeah.
Good way to get stress out. And then you're learning something too. So in case you ever do get in uh, a minor fight or something, you might be able to at least try to do something.
Yeah, because I know I'm thinking about you guys since y'all live downtown. There's some questionable characters walking around sometimes, and I'm like, man, if y'all ever walking around going to a restaurant or something, and some dude walks up to you, like fight or flight.
I don't know. I've always wanted to kick someone in the face, so I'll probably at least try to do that.
Yeah, I feel like people don't get too aggressive out in public. I mean, I feel like the casual no thank you or leave us alone is like enough to kind of keep people away, but I can't imagine someone literally just running up on both of y'all like trying to start mess.
Yeah, I don't think that would be realistic. Callie's pretty big too, so
Y'all are both.
she's strong.
Yeah, y'all are both fit.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, I don't know, but yeah, it's just a little bit of something. It was actually one of my New Year's resolutions from the last year was to do something like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously I did it for the year, and I was like, oh, cool.
That's dope.
I did that.
Yeah, it always feels good to have that sense of accomplishment, whether it's doing like some physical activity or if it's like completing some hard part of a video game. We just love that sense of accomplishment. Like we've done something. Like, man, I did that. Now on to the next thing.
This year I'm really focused on. I want to make my house a little greener. So like more plants and stuff to kind of filter it and kind of get rid of a lot of the clutter. Like I have a big desk with just books and shit all over it. And I kind of want to pare a lot of that stuff back and just have more room for plants. And do that whole thing and filter the air, make it a little cozier. So obviously earlier today we were running a bit late because on my behalf as usual. But we were going over and grabbing some pots and some like shelves and stuff for the plants from some friends to kind of start that process. So yeah, I'm trying to do that. So hopefully you can report back or ask me how I feel at the end of the year, and hopefully I'll have some good news to report back, but we'll see. I'm struggling right now.
I can send you some buckets of green paint and just, do the outside of your house. Make that green.
No. Yeah, just paint the inside green and then have like a bunch of dead plants. Be like, it's there.
It's green.
Yeah, we have a couple of maybe like 6 or 7 plants that I've been trying to keep alive for the last couple of months. We have some that are doing great, and some that just don't. They just don't want anything to do with us. I have this one plant. I was talking to a friend that. It's called like a prayer plant or a caletheia or something like that. It's like purple leaves on the bottom, and then every night it like rolls up and then opens back up again for all the leaves to like absorb in the morning, the sunlight. But this one, the leaves have been rolled up. It's not dead. There are plenty of leaves on there, but the leaves have been rolled up for like a month because I think I skipped a watering cycle for it. And just like I've watered it, I've had it in the sun, had it in humidity, I've like sprayed it, like I've been fucking babying it, and it doesn't want to. The leaves don't want to unroll. I'm just like, why?
It's like, screw you, man. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't control me.
And everyone I've talked to has been like, yep, they're like, fuck those things. I don't even keep them anymore.
Those plants are dicks.
Yeah, they hate you. So
it's like that teenager like just doesn't want to follow your instructions, wants to rebel.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to give it some like plant steroids, just get it all hyped up so it has to
make it even more of an asshole.
Yeah, starts. I don't know. Starts knocking itself over. Getting dirt on.
I'm going to go ahead and call this now because I just envisioned this when you're explaining about your green thumb adventure that you're trying to go through. Mm-hmm. You should go to a drag show. Just go ahead and be a drag queen for the evening and just go as Poison Ivy.
Okay.
I just want to see you in drag. Tight clothes with the leaves all around you and the red hair. You can have it cut shorts, whatever.
Well, I'll let you know when that comes up. That has been discussed before. I've run in circles similar to that. So,
yep, that's all I can see now. If Brian ever does drag, it needs to be Poison Ivy.
I was at one of my partner's, events where she does like stage kittening, which is like you like help the stage people get all the glitter off the ground, for any performers. And I was talking to one of the people that were there. He was a drag queen, and he's also like a game developer. And I was just like, yeah, that's really interesting. It's really cool that you do that. And he's like, you should do it. You have the jawline for it. And I was like, okay, that is a compliment.
There you go.
I'll take that, I guess.
Got the physique.
I don't know about that.
Get that brassiere and everything. They say beauty is pain. Suck it up. Get the tight boots.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm up for that, but if I do, you hear it here on the podcast.
Heard it there, folks.
You can protest or be there, whatever you want.
Man, I haven't been to a drag show in years. I think the last time was probably, I want to say probably during college, which was like 10 years ago. It's probably like the last drag show I've ever been to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty fun events.
Yeah. I mean, my girlfriend, she's a circus aerialist, so
yeah,
it's like every 2 weeks, every week, every other,
Oh yeah, so you always have an event going on.
Yeah, it's pole dancers and drag queens are my life right now.
All the entertainment, all the excitement, all the flexibility that we'll never have.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, I can't imagine like stretching my legs and bending and contorting for like weeks on end and still not being able to like touch my head to my or foot to my head or anything like that.
Yeah, it was actually really crazy during the pandemic. My partner was like getting really into flexibility, and she started taking contortion classes. And then like literally within like 3 months, she was like, look, I can touch my head to my foot. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She couldn't do that before or like anything, close. She's like walking, doing like the exorcist walks and weird stuff like that.
That'd be dope.
It's pretty cool.
So I'm hearing 3 months of commitment, just 3 months of like committed stretching and to make it happen.
Yeah. But I mean, she's already doing a lot of stretching and flexibility sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it just like pushed her over like the intensity of it or what. Because I don't know. I've tried stretching. I'm not as consistent as she is though. So I can't even touch my toes. I'm a sad bastard.
Yeah, I do like the bare minimum, like man stretches before I lift weights, and like that's it. Nothing like too strenuous or crazy or anything like that.
Yeah, I usually get like one or two good stretches in before I have to go to either a class or band practice or something, or like have a show. Yeah. I stretch before a show, but I don't make time for it outside of that.
The best time for stretching is when you get out of the hot shower, so all your muscles are loosened up, and you're like, oh man, I feel like Stretch Armstrong. I can like go so far.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. I've tried doing it, but I don't know. I just get distracted.
It's a huge noticeable difference when you like stretch out of a hot shower when your muscles are loose compared to when you're just like stretching normally when you wake up or something. Very different. I'm just like, man, I thought I couldn't go this far, but no, here I am out the shower.
Interesting. Maybe I'll make that into my routine. Take a shower, stretch for 15 minutes.
Yeah, if you want to kind of inflate your ego, always do it after a hot shower. So you won't be able to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, another news. What have we got going on in the world? Well, it's been 2 weeks. We've had a few things going on.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff. We got Andrew Tate v. Greta.
Got arrested.
Greta, what's her name? Greta Gerwig. No.
He got arrested because of the pizza box. That's so wild.
Yeah. How crazy is it to be like presenting yourself as such a big fucking alpha male, like the most alpha male, pick a fight with a 19-year-old, immediately get owned, and then get owned again because you try to rebuttal.
Yeah, it's such a crazy set of events because she was posting about, I guess, because she's like, what do you call that? I want to say a naturist. environmentalist.
Right.
Yeah, and she was like kind of posting about the greenhouse gases and stuff like that, and you know really like trying to save the planet. And then he responded with like, "What? I have
I have
33
like 23.
cars, and they tear up the ozone layer." Just stupid shit, like egging her on, like, "Yeah, I've got these expensive cars that tear up the ozone layer. I don't care." And then she responded to that with, "Okay, go ahead and send your replies to the email of small dick energy, like whatever.com."
Yeah, yeah. Like she's like, okay, I don't care. I wasn't even talking to
Yeah,
you.
and everyone's like, and obviously the joke was the small dick energy was for him. Send
Yeah,
your emails to small dick energy, but then he tried to come back as a flex, like, "Oh, actually, you didn't pwn me because when you said smalldickenergy.com, that was
it's your
actually
email.
that's your email. So why do you have a small dick email?" And then that's when he brought out the pizza boxes, which were
Yeah.
what they're in Romania, I believe.
Yeah,
And
he was like, "Hey, this will be funny. Bring out
yeah,
the pizza box. What do we got here? We got pizza boxes.
yeah, and he's
Let's
still
say
like,
we're not
yeah,
recycling them." Just
yeah.
like,
And the whole point of this was, I think she said her friend, some chick was just like, had a boyfriend living in America, was convinced by Andrew or his brother, to come over there because they're rich. So the friend left her boyfriend in America, flew over there to Romania to be with him, because he's quote unquote a millionaire. And then when she gets there, apparently he makes her. It's not like a sex slave, but it's sort of trafficking because they force them to be cam girls. That's
yeah,
always been the controversy with Andrew Tate and his brother. They all these girls, like, yeah, they like bring you into this big mansion, they set you up with a webcam, and they like really are really adamant about you like being a cam girl to make money. So it's kind of like prostitution, but they're not like physically forcing them, but at the same time,
yeah.
like, they are.
It's like a sex farming. It's kind of what happened to Amaranth or whatever,
Yeah,
where
they're
her
pimping them out.
husband,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're not
was
physically making them do
potentially.
it, but they're being like super aggressive about it. Like, "Hey, you need to do this. Like, you
I
really
mean,
need to do this." But that's still,
it's more or less the new version of like a prostitution. It's not obviously they're not having sex, but they're forced to do like
yeah,
lewd acts on television,
and yeah, and the
so
camera,
these people can make money off of them.
yeah.
It's
So
just like the social media farms in like South Korea or China or whatever it is.
right, but the friend, she's being forced to cam at this dude's whatever mansion in Romania. She's now out of the country. That's another reason it kind of became a big deal of like human trafficking. She sends a message to her ex-boyfriend that she left for this rich guy, which is, that's a really shitty situation. Like, "Hey, so it turns out this rich guy that I'm with, he's kind of an asshole, and he's like forcing me to like be a cam girl, and I shouldn't have broke up with you, but here we are." So the boyfriend contacts, I guess, the U.S. embassy, and it's just like, "Hey, like, anonymous tip, my ex-girlfriend along with some other girls are being held captive at this place in Romania, to be cam girls." And this isn't news. Like, the U.S. they've had reports of this before, so this isn't new. So they're like, "Okay, well, we'll look into it." Well, they're like, "Okay, Andrew Tate is mostly in America, and the girls are being kept in Romania. So we're trying to figure out how we can kind of raid the compound and like make a bust when he's always in America." Circle back around to this whole internet feud he's having with Gretchen. He's like, "Oh yeah, greenhouse gases, blah blah, small dick energy. Bring out the pizzas." And the pizzas, the name on the pizza boxes, the pizza place, I think it's called Jimmy's. It's a specific pizza chain that's only in Romania. So when I guess the SWAT team or whatever, they're looking at his Twitter account, and they're like, "Did he just post those pizza boxes?" So like, he pretty much confirmed he's physically in Romania, and that's when they busted him and made the arrest. They literally knew where he was because of the stupid pizza box joke. Like,
Yeah, so
all of that.
I'm reading an article. I don't think the Thunderberg, uh, like the victim was related to her at all, but so he's in prison for an additional 30 days,
Mhm.
and four people got arrested: Andrew Tate, his brother, and then two other people. let's see.
For this human trafficking ring of cam girls.
And yeah, it's human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized criminal group. So he has to be in prison for 30 days at a minimum. He says that they believe they were connected to human trafficking and rape. The authorities said they were investigating whether they created like a criminal group in 2021. There are 6 victims who were allegedly coerced into performing sexual acts. They were housed in a building outside of Bucharest. On 2 separate occasions in March, one of the suspects used violence to psychological pressure to rape a victim.
Yes.
So yeah, and honestly, I think I was on Twitter yesterday, kind of looking around, and there were a couple of videos where he was being like that, just kind of disseminated on the internet, you know, showing him being pretty violent towards women in that sort of way.
Tate?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
there's a lot of stuff out there showing him being like physically aggressive.
Yeah, and I think even on a podcast he mentioned at one point that 40% of the reason why he moved to Romania was because the cops were easy to bribe and like you can't get arrested for rape and
he said a bunch of crazy stuff over the years. Yes, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but when you say stuff like that and then you go to Romania and you get charged with trafficking and rape and stuff, then it's like, okay. So you were just saying that you were saying it out loud and didn't think it you could be touched.
All for a stupid joke that wasn't even like he was trying to recover because he's like, I didn't get pwned, you got pwned because you're the small dick energy email. Like, he blew up over that fucking comment, and that's what led to all this. It's like, you really didn't need to make a response. You didn't have to say anything. This whole argument with you and this Gretchen chick was completely pointless, and in the end it ended up getting you busted. It's like, it was such a waste of time.
That's what fucking dumb bully people who have no fucking life outside of hating women, they think that they have to constantly prove themselves, not just to other people, but to themselves, because deep down they know they're fucking losers.
Yep.
Absolutely a fucking loser. He tries so hard and he looks so dumb in every fucking picture, like smokes cigars, wearing robes all the time. It's like, bitch, I did that in my college days too. I didn't fucking, I wasn't a fucking loser like you. You got to prove that you're like, I wasn't trying that hard to do anything. No one gives a shit about you. You're just a fucking kickboxer guy who has really shitty opinions, and a bunch of other people tend to agree with you because they also have really shitty opinions. For whatever reason,
he's got a pretty big following. A lot of people follow him and have his back, but in
not
just
a lot of people.
In the terms of it's a lot of young people too. It's that's kind of what makes it. That's why he's such. I don't want to say dangerous, but that's kind of what makes the situation so dangerous. Is that him presenting himself and showing how he lives his life. It's like encouraging a lot of people to do the same, because if you go on the internet, they're still, it's the same with Trump, it's the same with Kanye. They always have a huge fan base behind them. A lot of people will disagree with them, but they still have a lot of people behind them. Still backing them up.
I wouldn't say a huge fan base. I would say there are a lot of people, but it's not like, I don't know. If you look at the tweets, just the tweets on like who liked them and like the ratios. Greta has like 3 million, and he doesn't. I just don't think, like, I know maybe like 2 people that might like his content. I think most people either don't know who he is or don't care. It's just that the people that do like those types of people are loud as fuck. But it's not that many people. Like, it's not a majority by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not a majority, but it's still a big fan base. Like, 10% of like 1 million is still a shitload of people. It's still,
I guess that's true. That's a good point.
So it's still a big number. And it's funny to think about the male, the alpha male stereotype, right? Like the big, tall, macho guy lifting weights, smoking cigars, taking charge, quote unquote owning his woman, taming beasts, or it's just so bizarre to see that people really like want to follow this alpha male mentality when really it's just a mindset. It's like, because a true alpha would not need to parade himself and make a big spectacle and say, hey, look how great I am, look how big I am, and look how much money I have, look at my cars, look at all the hot women. It's
he doesn't.
If you have to go out of your way to say that, then you're really not. You're not an alpha male. That's every time I see people like boasting the alpha male like mentality, I'm just like, if you're a real alpha male, you wouldn't have to talk about it. You would just be it. Like, you wouldn't have to post pictures of your muscles and the girls and the money and the cars. It's like, that's so stupid.
Yeah. What are you trying to prove? Who are you trying to prove to? If you're proving anything, it's just that you're insecure.
Yeah, and that's the problem with social media, is that people, present these fake lives, and it's really harmful to young people because they will believe that stuff. So not just Andrew Tate or Kanye, but any influencer, when they show stuff, it's like, you got to take what you see on the internet as a grain of salt, or with a grain of salt. People don't wake up beautiful. They don't wake up like sexy. Like, they have to put in the work and get ready and exercise. It's just they're selling you on a fantasy, right? And Instagram, they're selling a fantasy. Like, hey, look at this, look at that. It's like, that's not who they are when the camera is off. Yeah, that was just for the picture.
There are so many people these days there's a lot of society unrest. There's a lot of issues with like young people not being able to make money, not being able to find partners, wives or whatever, or husbands, not being able to, feel like they have any self-value or worth because the current society is telling you don't have any. We're going to pay you $2 an hour and you're going to like it, or, whatever. And then also, you can't buy a house. You can't have these things. That's not for you. You need to work really hard despite you actually doing that. So a lot of these people are looking for someone to tell them what to do. Not only that, a lot of the men are looking for father figures because a lot of them don't have them for whatever reason, whether they left or,
father figure, big brother, whatever. Male idol.
There's a lot of people that are just lost right now, which sucks, but they're looking on the internet, and there's so many people willing to take advantage of that and make a buck off of it. Another example is like the Liver King.
I was about to say, selling the supplements. You want to be big like me? Eat liver and buy my supplements. And it's like, no, you're trying to sell
steroids.
You're just trying to sell a product. That's it. You're just trying to. That dude lives in Houston.
Really?
I found it. Yeah, I was like, oh man, a lot of these influencers are like so close to us. But yeah.
Yeah, he was just taking steroids.
Yeah,
that was
that's not to say. Yeah, that's not to say he wasn't working hard. I truly believe he did exercise, and he is a bodybuilder.
Yeah, he probably could have looked really good.
Yeah, the problem with bodybuilders is they have that mentality of they're not big enough, and eventually, when you're lifting weights, you will hit a point when you will plateau, and then it's like you hit this wall, and you're like, it doesn't matter how much I eat or work out, I can't get any bigger than I already am. And that's usually when steroids kick in, because then steroids will make you bigger. Even though you were already big enough, maybe personally you looked in the mirror and said, hey, I'm still not big enough. And the only way to go that extra mile is with steroids. And honestly, I really wish people would stop, like, I don't want to say bastardizing, but making steroids seem like it's like this evil thing. Like, you just got to be honest with it. Like, when you see a big person like Liver King or some of these celebrities in movies, it's like, look, man, that's fine, but be honest. Like, there is some steroids in that.
Chris Hemsworth is not. That's not all working out. There has to be. There's no way.
Well, because I've seen his regular body when he works out, and he's not giant, but he is giant in the movies. Why is that? When you're filming a movie, they have you taking specific steroids and whatever, so you can look cut and trimmed up, and while you exercise, and then when the movie's over, they go back to looking like they normally look, because it's not really a healthy way to maintain your body, to like starve yourself and pump yourself full of steroids. You look great, but man, that, again, you're selling a fantasy. People don't normally look like that.
Was it? I think it was fucking Zac Efron who worked out without, he just didn't eat carbs for like 10 years or 5 years or whatever. So like, I don't know if you saw Baywatch, but he was like super cut in that. I don't think he took steroids. I'm not sure, but he was really, really cut, and it almost looked unhealthy. It was like kind of disgusting because he just wasn't eating carbs. And then he went on that show where he traveled and he had like spaghetti for the first time and he just started crying.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is so good.
It's not, it's not really a healthy and it's not a happy way to maintain your life. Like, yes, you could do that and eat a salad and a bowl of cereal every day and then just, not eat any fat or grease. I mean, but honestly, you're depriving yourself of not just good tasting food, but like, a happier lifestyle, because you're mentally torturing yourself. Like, no, I got to look a certain way. So I got to starve myself. I got to take these drugs. And the thing is, not all steroids are bad. That's another thing. That's a big misconception. Everyone thinks like steroids are just like the worst thing. It's like, no, some steroids are healthy, especially when you get old. You're going to be having to take certain steroids when you get old and your body's breaking down. Like, steroids can be natural, but the stigma behind it and why people feel like they need to lie. It's like, no, I didn't take steroids. It's like, bro, it's fine. Now, in the Liver King's perspective, that it wouldn't have been good for his business because he's trying to sell a product. If he wasn't selling a product, he could just be honest, be like, yeah, I take steroids. But yeah, he can't say that if he's trying to sell you a bunch of pills at like, $50 a bottle. It's bad for business.
Yeah, I feel like it would honestly be better for us as a culture if the people who did take steroids were a bit more open about it, as far as like celebrities, because a lot of people idolize, like you mentioned earlier, they idolize these people and these celebrities that are selling them a fake bill of goods, essentially. Like, look, every superhero movie they ask, what's your workout routine? And it's like, it's the same for everybody. It's literally the same. You just eat less calories than you work out. That's really simple.
And I'm sure the personal trainers at the Hollywood sets like have special quote unquote protein shakes that they give the actors while they're working out. The special being the steroids in the goddamn shake.
And they also have like private chefs that make everything according to like this many diet. Calories. They don't have to do anything, but everyone idolizes them for how they look, and it's like, well, if you were honest and you're like, well, I also take a little bit of steroids here and a little there. Yeah,
just stop. Oh, demonizing. I think that's the word I was looking for earlier. Yeah, just stop demonizing it. I mean, because some steroids are very bad for you, but some are not.
Yeah, it's not something I would ever do. I'm afraid of needles. I cry like a little baby. But
yeah, I don't really care for steroids either. But if someone were to take them, it would not bother me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. You want that extra kick. You want to be bigger. I'm perfectly okay with my size, but I do know people that look in the mirror and they're huge and they're just like, I'm not big enough. And I'm like, man, that's a mental issue you got going on. Like, because you're never going to be big enough. Even when they take steroids and they're huge, they still don't think they're big enough.
It's like the opposite of bulimia.
Yeah, they're like, I got to get bigger. And it's just like, man, that's, you got to find out what's causing your depression, what's keeping you from being happy. You don't need all these steroids, unless, you want the steroids, that's fine. But if you're trying to achieve like a certain like body image, that's always like a toxic road, trying to get a certain body image.
Yeah. 100%.
Hey, have you had some work done? No, it's all natural. It's like, I could see that there's Botox in your face. Like, you don't have to lie about it. Just sure. Yeah, I got a little work done. I was self-conscious about my cheekbones, so I got a lift or whatever. But I don't know. People just feel like they have to lie.
Yeah.
I just woke up like this.
I feel like the only one you can't really lie about is the boob job.
I guess, yeah. Unless you get like some insane push-up bra.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. It's that whole thing. I would just say, to bring it back to Andrew Tate and people like that, is just, try not to idolize one person or one mentality. Look around you and talk to a couple different people, get different sides of a viewpoint, and then maybe make an assessment that way. I know everyone's mad about something and there's a lot of shitty stuff happening, but like try to keep your perspective, your individual perspective, and don't just follow, these con men that are really looking to make money off of your idolization of them.
Yes. And honestly, yeah, I gotta give a message to all the young people out there who may or may not be listening to this podcast. Again, take everything you see with a grain of salt. Like when you follow these toxic people, like, you know, Trump or Kanye or Andrew Tate, like, don't be afraid to get some constructive criticism and listen to other people who are not famous, who are not insane, who are just people in the comments saying, hey, you know, that's not necessarily true. Or, you know, you don't have to look at the world as black and white. You don't have to look at it like women being stupid or whatever. You know, just take some advice for some other people too. Form your own opinion. Don't just blindly follow what some asshole on the internet says.
Yeah.
Have a thought of
I
your
don't know.
own.
I would say also talk to women and be candid about it and not, you know,
Yeah.
don't throw talking points like Andrew Tate and try to actually insult them to their face. Just have
Yeah.
a conversation,
Yeah.
and maybe you might get a bit more insight on how the world works and why it is the way it is. Because it's, yeah,
Brian, that's probably the most controversial statement you've made. Go
yeah,
on the
talk to
internet.
ladies.
On the internet, try to have a conversation. You know how impossible that is?
It's so hard.
It's the internet. Everyone is immediately pointing the finger and blaming and giving their unwanted opinions. It's like, man, social media just made it to where people just forgot how to have a conversation. Not even an argument, not even a debate. Let's just have a conversation. It's okay to have two warring opinions and, you know, be fine with that. Just because someone has a different opinion of, you know, on a subject doesn't mean they don't like you personally. That just means they disagree on that particular subject. But people just don't seem to understand that, which is why you have so many flame wars and, you know, pointless arguments online. It's just like, man, you're stuck behind a screen at a random location just yelling at somebody on the internet. So stupid.
Yeah. I feel like there are two good factors in that, and one of them is that everyone's attention spans have clearly, you know, shortened, because now we have things like TikTok and YouTube videos. Like we just need things to go fast. We need, you know, everything has to move at a fast pace.
Right.
You got to make snap judgments about something. Are you swiping left? You swiping right? Are you liking this TikTok video? Or are you scrolling up?
Yep.
Like it's all like gut decisions. So everyone has to make a gut decision on what they just read. And on top of that, us as a society, or just all our current mindsets, like there's a lot of tone that's inferred that may or may not be there, that we really are just self-reflecting off ourselves, you know, self-reflecting, you know. So like someone will send me a text message and be like, is that what you thought? You know, something really innocuous. Is that the right word? Something harmless, something simple, but just the way that we read it, we could read it as passive aggressive or read it as like an angry thing. And that's usually our gut instinct, is to read it like it's an attack or something. And it usually has to be clarified later.
The tone is definitely lost when it comes to social messaging. I'm sure you've probably seen that Key and Peele sketch where they're texting each other, and of course one person is he's interpreting the messages in a completely different way, and he's like, oh my god, he's trying to piss me off, he's trying to start a fight with me. And it's like, no, he was just, from his point of view, he was just like, he's like, no, whatever, we can do whatever, I don't care. It's like, what do you mean you don't care? And it's just like, yeah, the tone is lost when you send a message.
Yeah, and I think that's what starts a lot of it, is just that we automatically assume it's a negative attack,
we
connotation,
think the worst.
And then we make that gut decision, and we're like, well, I gotta defend myself.
It's like, no one's attacking you. Now, trust me, it's the internet. There are plenty of people who will want to attack you because people don't know how to talk on the internet. Just all attacking and deflecting and being defensive. But that's, the beauty is lost. You know, people need to actually meet in person in a public setting and just have a conversation. You'd be surprised at how nice people can be if you're talking to their face instead of just messaging them online and them perceiving something as, oh, you're attacking me, you're attacking my beliefs, therefore you hate me as a person. It's like, those aren't the same thing. Your opinion and you as a person are two very different things. Just because I don't like the type of food you eat doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Yeah. Yep. It's maybe we'll get back there. We need to find a happy center. somewhere.
People got to go out more, Brian. That's the only way. They're gonna have to talk to
Yeah.
people face to face, which you know is unheard of in the social media era. I
Yeah.
remember like back in college when I used to talk to women and I would like try to pick up girls and go on dates, just talk to people in general. There were quite a few girls who would the first thing they would do when I would start talking to them, they would ask me, "Do you have a Facebook?" Or something
Mhm.
like that. And me, I was a natural guy. I'm like, "No, I don't really use Facebook. I just talk to people in person." And man, there were so many girls that asked me that particular question. They gave me just the strangest, most bewildered look of like, I
Yeah.
guess, confusion and disgust. Like, you don't have a Facebook? Like, how am I supposed to know you? How am I supposed to get to know? And it's like, I'm physically talking to you right now to your face, like in public. Like, this is
Yeah.
how you
Well,
get to know. Yeah, but they're like, no, you
it.
gotta, if I can't follow you or look up your pictures and I don't want anything to do with you, you're weird. And it's just like, that is so backwards.
Yeah, they gotta find out if you're a serial killer or not, man. They gotta see your history for the last 10 years. It's like a resume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and of
You
course
gotta see what.
and it's like, well, even if
Oh,
I,
you went to Daft Punk in
yeah,
2015. Okay, you're cool.
dude, even if you were a piece of shit, you're not gonna post pictures of that online.
That's true.
Hey, here's a picture of me kicking a dog, and here's a picture of me like throwing eggs at a house. Like, no one's gonna post pictures of that. They're just gonna show smiling pictures of you just whatever, doing whatever. Like, it's again, you're being sold a fantasy. Like, meet people in person and just talk to them in a
Yeah.
public setting.
I remember, I think it was during the pandemic, I was getting really frustrated. There's a lot of really terrible shit happening, of course. And for my mental health, I was like, I think I need to just quit Facebook, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of get off social media. And I don't think I've been really active. Like I'll look at it, but I don't post since like 2020. And I shut down my Facebook for probably like a year and a half. Um, and it was really nice. But I remember when I was doing that, like my partner was just like frustrated. She's like, "Why? Why would you do that?" Like, and I was like, "It's just not good health, health wise."
Yeah,
But
mentally,
she's
it's yeah,
but she likes to post stuff, so she would post a picture of us together, and it's like I'm not liking it. It's not going to my friends or whatever, and it's just like I don't even acknowledge them. I have no idea what pictures are being posted or when.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
that's so funny. I mean, I'm the same way to this day. Like, I still don't really use social media that much, like at all. It's just not the limited amount of free time I have, I'm doing other things. I'm not like going over all these tweets and Instagram pictures. I don't invest the time into that. If I see
See,
something in passing every now and then, fine, cool, but I'm not gonna like dedicate every hour every day like trying to keep up with the latest trends and all my friends' pictures and all these videos and all these opinions. It's that's so draining. It's to
I
me, it's
think
just a waste of time.
I've become addicted to like Twitter and stuff, and I'll spend hours in Twitter and Instagram in a black hole. But the thing that frustrates me the most is that it's never about people I know. It's just whatever ads and bullshit is like the collective society that I'm looking at. I'm no longer looking at posts of my friends and seeing how their day to day was and communicating with them with anything other than like a like emoji.
Yeah,
I'm hardly seeing that from them at all. Um, it's mostly just other random people I don't even know who have probably shitty opinions, and that's why I don't know them. And but I'm addicted to that, the scroll and the updates of everything. It gets really frustrating. I know Instagram, I used to use it all the time, but I just quit posting, and I think a lot of people did because they don't put anything in like a timeline anymore. It's just an algorithm. So you could post a picture, but no one may ever see it because of the algorithm. Whereas if you do like the stories, that's the only way people can actually see what you're doing, like update the people that actually follow you that you are friends with. Um, and those are all temporary. So it's essentially like Snapchat. And it's just gotten really frustrating to use. I really hate it. And I think the worst part about all of these is that they've only gotten worse, and they've become more about ads and monetization than they have about collectively, like essentially harvesting our data than actually being used for like communicating with each other. But yeah, they've just gotten worse. They're just worse overall. They're really not worth using in any sense of the word because no one's really communicating with each other using them anymore.
Right.
It's not social media. It's just media.
I could not imagine being a young person in this day and age, like preteen, teenager, and like just being raised on social media essentially. Because in our day, we went out, we played, we had friends, and, you know, sometimes we'd get together inside and play video games. Like, that was our upbringing. And I'm sure our parents, they were out a lot, going to do whatever. Because, you know, video games weren't really a big thing back in their day. But nowadays, like, the normal thing for kids now is just social media. Like, they're literally being raised on their phones. So
Yeah.
it's odd to think about because I'm like, I can't imagine how they're going to grow up. I mean, what would that be like? It can't be healthy because we're sitting here talking about how toxic it is. I mean, there's good things about it, but man, more than that, it's a lot of garbage.
I
a lot of useless information.
I imagine it puts a lot of them in an identity crisis because, you know,
Yeah,
you're literally watching
other people.
thousands upon thousands of people posting their fake lives, you know, or like 15-second snippets of something cool that happened to them. And then you look around and you're like, well, I live in a small town in my mom's house.
Nothing's going on.
And
I
got a job
FOMO. It's literally FOMO. The kids are being raised with the fear of missing out. They think like everyone has. Yeah.
It's all the same. Everyone's doing the same thing. It's just you get a 15-second snippet of something that they're doing that's interesting or whatever. They're at a concert.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe you make a viral video and you're famous for like 4 days and then you know, immediately forgotten after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I had like a viral video. I think someone was talking about. I was watching a video and they're talking about the guy who did at the Game Awards show with Keanu Reeves, the one who was like, "You're breathtaking," and then he said it back. That guy tried. After that, he blew up and he tried to make a social media following on just the being breathtaking. So you'd do a post and at the end be like, remember, you're breathtaking or whatever.
Yeah.
And then no one follows. But yeah, but no one follows him because it was like, that was cool at the time. I mean, it's kind of obnoxious to yell at presenters anyway, but it was heartwarming because of the way Keanu Reeves responded to it. But you're trying to make that was your iron to, hot in the fire to strike with. And, now he streams on Twitch and he's got like 15 followers because it's like
15 is the magic number because he's literally living his 15 minutes of fame. Like he was famous for a brief period in time and then people moved on to the next trend. That's just how society works.
Yeah. I can imagine that being difficult. I mean, I don't really know that person or care or have anything towards that person, but just in general, that idea of being famous from either doing something and then everyone taking it negatively or positively, and it could go either way, and you have no idea. You could post a video and in the background there could be like a book, that's like on its side in a stack of other books, and they'll pinpoint that, and then your whole life could be destroyed.
It's like, oh my God, you read the Kama Sutra? It's like, that's what you got out of that video or that picture? Just something I had in the background?
Yeah, it's not even mine.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Well, I mean, these are things you learn with age, and it's just weird to see, kids nowadays growing up like this, because I'm curious to see how they're going to turn out when they grow up. Either they're going to be extremely depressed and not want to live, or they may get older like the rest of us and just grow out of it. Like, you know what? This is toxic. I found pleasure in doing like other things and just being on my phone. And it's just like, cool. I mean, that was, bound to happen at some point, but yeah, I have no idea how they're going to turn out.
It's really interesting to think about because, sorry, I just thinking, my mind kind of wandered a bit to how, when humans were first coming up, everyone was separated into tribes, and then as technology grew and us as a race grew, we kind of started to integrate more and more, and then at the turn of the 2000 20th century, there was a lot of talk about globalization and how we would become just kind of like a one singular thing. It's kind of like what Star Trek's about and all that. But the internet came about, and then we've slowly kind of devolved back into these tribes.
Social
But
media
now
definitely did that.
yeah.
It
So
definitely
now,
segregated everybody.
yeah, it's just really interesting to think about how now, like I don't know why it popped in my head, but like the anime kids, like growing up, I mean, like, are you going to be like an anime kid that does the Naruto run, or are you going to be like an Andrew Tate bro, an incel? Are you going to do
Yeah.
like a?
It's
And it's just like those you're already being put into these tribe pockets that you got to pick,
yeah.
and it's like that. It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, it's like, can't we just all like be, in one singular group of people who like anime? And it's like, nope, we got to break it into subgroups because now you like anime, but which anime do you like? I like Bleach. Okay, you go to this group. I like Dragon Ball Z. Ew, you go to this group. I like Chainsaw Man. Okay, ew, you go to this group. Well, can't we just like anime together? It's like, no, because you like the different anime, so we're in different groups now. And it's just like, okay, now that we're in these different groups of like, animes,
Subgroup,
well, yeah, what
groups.
now there's going to be a subgroup. What is your favorite character in this anime? Oh, I like the protagonist. I like the antagonist. Now you split into
Yeah.
even more groups. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
you have
yeah,
characters fighting over the relationships, the fake relationships between like,
yeah,
is
and
Rey
yeah,
gonna date Finn or gonna date Kylo Ren?
yeah,
And it's like, this is all fake. Why are y'all
yeah,
fighting? It's just
yeah.
a TV show.
Can't y'all just be together because y'all like Star Wars? Like, no, if you like the original trilogy, you're in this group. If you like the new trilogy, you're in this group. If you only like the animated series, you're in this group. If you only like the books, you're in this group. It's like,
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, social media really, yeah, it really divided us back into tribes because we were working together, and then internet came about, and it was helping because we can communicate over long distances now. Instead of the phone, we can get on the internet and send each other a message or whatever. But then social media came about, and it's just there's hashtags for everything. There's different groups for everything.
I mean, you're
It's
getting so much thrown at you that the only way to navigate it in the ocean is to, you got to swim in a direction.
yeah,
And
it's
that's
like
kind of, I guess, how it came about. It's like, well, there's like 80 different fantasy stories I could be into. I'm gonna pick one. I love Final Fantasy. That's the one. I'm a Final Fantasy person, and this is my island that I have to stay at because there's just too much.
oh, but which Final Fantasy, which character? And it's just like can't. It's like I'm not in any of those groups. I just like Final Fantasy. I don't care what game, what villain. I like them. I like the series. Stop trying to put me. You're trying to force me into a subgroup. It's like, come on, you gotta have a favorite. You gotta have an opinion on one. It's like I have an opinion on a lot of things. Like
Yeah,
just just leave it at Final Fantasy. It's nice, cool.
yeah. Let's just get along. We like nerdy shit.
Well, you
That's
don't
how
like
it
the
goes.
same villain I like, and like that's okay. We still both like Final Fantasy. Like I don't have to like the exact same things you like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mess out there, but hopefully 2023, that'll be our year. We'll bring it back. We're gonna fix society in 360 days.
Oh my goodness.
368. Yeah.
Well, only time will tell. It is now New Year's Eve, I guess.
Yep.
Are you gonna
is.
you guys going out to the bars or anything for the countdown?
We might go to uh I don't know. There are a couple of options. I think the last couple of years I mean, granted there was the whole COVID thing, but we've been staying inside, and we'll like go to the bar early and then come home and just kind of chill. Uh I don't know. We might do that again this year,
But
but we might go out.
hey, look, babe, it's midnight. Yay! All right, time to go to bed.
Honestly, she goes to sleep at like 11. So
Because she's responsible, Brian.
yeah, I don't know.
You gotta wake
But
up
yeah,
early and get your shit done.
it's Sunday. There ain't nothing going on.
Uh,
Actually, we should probably take down our Christmas tree. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we got anything planned. We might go out downtown, but that's a big. Mike's doing a lot of work there. But what about you?
Absolutely nothing. I'm gonna be on this computer, probably editing a video or working on music or playing a game.
That sounds good too.
This is
Honestly,
the same shit I do
the-
every day.
Well, for me, like the older I get, I don't remember. It was probably sometime in my college years. I was just thinking about like most people the day after New Year's are just so hungover that they don't do anything. And it's like what a way to start the first day of a new year where we build it up, so much to being like everything's restarted. We get a fresh start, and then you spend the whole first day hungover as shit and doing nothing, you know. So I kind of endeavored for the last several years to just maybe not drink and not be hungover as much on New Year's, and just kind of I'll drink like a glass champagne or two, and then just kind of chill. I'm lame. I'm so lame. I just realized.
Welcome to growing up. Our party
Yeah.
days are gone. I mean, we had our fun back in college, but now we're older. It's just, yeah, we don't get crazy like we used to. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily a bad thing. If
Yeah.
anything, we're more responsible. It's like, man, I want to physically be able to function tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
I would love to.
I don't want to get messed up anymore.
Yeah, I want to go to the store. I think get groceries.
Now,
I can't do that if I'm hungover.
To be fair, in your younger years, you're able to bounce back like much quicker. So you could drink, get hungover, and you'd be fine the next day. But now that we're older,
Yeah.
it takes a little more time for our bodies to recover. So it's like I can't go hard in the paint like I used to.
Yeah, man. I went to the doctor. Did I tell you about this? I went to the doctor 2 months ago, and she's like, "Man, your liver is looking pretty
healthy.
bad." Yeah. How much alcohol do you drink? I was like, I drink like 2 drinks a week, maybe 3 a week. She's like, you gotta slow down. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, your liver is just not what it used to be.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not drinking that much. I thought you're supposed to drink a glass of wine a day, at least.
Yeah, well, for those with healthy livers, sure. You need to stick with water.
Yeah, this is very disappointing.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, that's kind of the beauty of being young. Like you can do a bunch of crazy, stupid shit and like really get it out of your system. Because when you get older, first of all, it's not as interesting as it used to be. But second of all, your body just can't keep up. So
yeah, that decline was pretty steep. I don't know, for me. I used to party and go out, get drunk in other countries, and then it was like, well, 2 years off, you're done. That's it.
You have now shortened your lifespan.
Yeah. COVID happened. You had to stay inside. It's over. Your body can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
Your ankles hurt I played that concert. I played a show a couple of weeks back in December.
Oh yeah, the 3-hour show, right?
Yeah, I played for 3 hours. The next day, my ankles hurt. My lower back and ankles hurt, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
That's whatever position you were standing in for 3 hours.
Yeah, my ears were ringing. I was like, "God damn! I need 2 days just to recover." All I did was play the bass.
Hey, did y'all have an intermission halfway through, like an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Or y'all just play for like 3 hours straight?
We had a 30-minute intermission.
Okay.
Or I think we shortened it to 20 because we started a little late.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have another one on the 12th, I think. But it'll only be an hour and a half, I think.
And before you know it, you guys will be on the radio and going on tour.
I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I got a new bass. That was my Christmas gift.
Oh yeah,
Very nice. I'm very excited.
Ooh.
I've been playing the same one since I was 13.
Damn,
so,
son. It's got some
yeah,
years on it.
Yeah, and it's not a good bass, so it's nice to finally get a professional's instrument.
I definitely need to hear you slap on that one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, another podcast down, another hour-long recording session.
Yeah, I don't know if we hit all of the topics that we probably could have. It was mostly just a reflection of the year and the previous years, but
Hey, it's our podcast. We can talk about whatever we want, man.
Yeah, next year's a new day, a new time to get back on topic.
Next podcast, we're just hour and a half just talking about jelly and jam. That's it. Just jam.
That's exciting. I went to Bird Biscuit and they had some jam and it looked pretty good. So I'm already on it.
Well, you got any other topics you want to cover before we close out this week?
Not off the top of my head. I feel like the Andrew Tate one was the most interesting.
Yeah, Elon and Kanye have been pretty silent the past couple weeks for the most part.
Yeah. Elon just recently said that Greta is cool. So that's where we're at right now with this discourse.
And of course, as usual, Elon trying to jump on the bandwagon.
He's a
Hey
dick
guys, I'm
rider.
I'm cool too. Hey,
I'm cool.
yeah, see that thing you guys liked? I liked it too. It's like nobody cares, Elon. Nobody
Yeah.
asked your opinion. I'm cool
Yep.
too, guys.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Any
He's
parting
gonna
words
get
for the people at home?
yeah, happy new year. You know, make a fun list of goals, try to complete them. It's totally worth it. It's always nice to look back at. Drink a lot of coffee and yeah, I guess that's it.
Well, alrighty. You've heard it there, folks. Got the news. Get rid of your blues.
Mhm.
Take a snooze and get ready for the new year. For me and to use.
Oh, amazing. What a sign off.
All right. Well, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop some dialogue in the comments below if you want to give us some ideas on some future topics to talk about. And yeah, we will catch you guys next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.